Kia ora, my name is Olivia. I'm here representing my family that have some land in the upper Murtere and that we've been planting for the last few years, and we built a wetland last year with the TDC's global consent. I also do quite a lot of work in climate change advocacy, and in the past I've been a climate scientist. I think there's huge potential. With a little bit of support and some knowledge and a little bit of equipment, I think there's huge potential and it's a lot of fun. We're quite lucky here in the Murtere because we've got a lot of support. We've got a really cool catchment group. We've got some really keen knowledgeable people that are keen to help and support, that are also part in our community, and also organisations like Land Care Trust and also the TDC. We've got a lot of people in our catchment that have diggers or experience with diggers, and I think they would love to have an excuse to get out and do more digging. There's huge benefit for having more wetlands. My family and my ancestors actually were part of draining a lot of these wetlands, so some of them came over in the mid-1840s, and then up until recently, like 40 years ago, we were draining wetlands because that's what we thought was the right thing to do. So there was wetlands up and down this catchment. So there's huge potential to put, starting with one per landowner maybe, bring them throughout the catchment, and they have huge benefits because they slow the water down. They have really big benefits for water health and biodiversity, as well as I think they're going to be really crucial for adapting to climate change in our region. So I think the catchment groups are really important as well for us to reach that potential for the wetlands, because particularly when we organise field days and that sort of thing. So about 2 years ago I came to this beautiful wetland for a field day, and it really inspired me and inspired my family. And then last month we had a field day on our newly constructed wetland. So I think it's really important that as landowners we share what we've done, because it's much better it's really good to get out and see what's happening in a physical example, and learning from what other landowners have done, what worked and what didn't work. I think it really helps to visualise what it could look like. So planting 3,000 plants is actually a lot of fun with our family. So having an example like this wetland to be able to come along and visit and talk to the landowners, it really does help us visualise what it could look like. And so when we're planting 3,000 plants, which actually is quite a lot of fun, and actually the really easy bit of building a wetland, I think, is the planting. You can imagine those filling out and growing, and then coming along and maintaining them, weeding them and spraying them. You can see the changes, and you can actually really easily imagine what it's going to look like in a year, 2 years and 5 years down the track. I think it's really important that organisations like Westpac continue the funding that we've had in the catchment, to continue the work that we've started. We've planted so many trees as a catchment in the last 3 years, and I think one of the missing links is the wetlands. I think we won't achieve the water quality health without wetlands, because the catchment was basically a giant wetland in all the lowland areas. So we need that, and so it's really awesome that organisations like Westpac will fund this. On lots of the land around here and the farms, we have lots of boggy patches around that aren't really in the streams or just off to the side of the streams, and those are a lot more really easy, I think, and achievable with a little bit of help from a digger and some support to turn it back into wetlands that they probably were in the past. And there is a lot of advantages of not having to go through the consent process, because it does take time, and there's always a bit of frustration with working with lots of different people on their timescales. So being able to use the knowledge that we have in the catchment, including the experience including the ecological experience, people like Annette at Land Care Trust, and local jiggle drivers. We could do them in a day or 2 days at the most, and they won't cost a lot. Well, we've been, as a family, we've been planting in different places on our land for the last 4 years. So we've planted a lot of trees in a number of different places. The wetland this year was something really important to us. Dad drained it 40 years ago, so it was really cool to put something in, and put something in that was better than what was there originally. And it's just part of our family giving back to this community and the land that's given so much to us. So it's something that we're quite proud of, and it really it really means a lot to us, and particularly the support we've had with the community and the catchment group. That's made it doable and possible. I think the funding is really going to help supercharge putting more wetlands in. So we've done lots of plantings in streams, and I think this is the next step to really increase biodiversity in our region.